We are back at the Genzio Media House, and today I'm gathered with Illia from Near. Illia, thank you for joining me. I think it would be like a really good start to have an idea of how you got into crypto for everyone watching.
For sure, yeah. So, hi, everyone, great to be here. My journey started actually, we were doing an AI startup. It was called Near AI originally. And we had a challenge because we were crowdsourcing a lot of training data. And we had people working in China, in Eastern Europe, and other countries. Many of them were students without bank accounts. Sending money from US to China, for example, is complicated. Some of the Eastern European countries as well. And so we saw kind of crypto as a platform that can actually be facilitating such payments.
What year was that?
This was in 2018. And as we started digging in, obviously the transaction fees were even then pretty high. And actually they were higher, like at 15 cents. They were kind of higher than what we're paying per task to the users, which meant it was not very economically feasible. And so we looked around the space, we dived in a lot of different protocols and ended up kind of realizing there's an opportunity to create something that not just scalable, kind of reduces the fees, but also easy to use and really removes this need to understand the blockchain for the user. And so this idea kind of stuck with us, and actually now we are, continue pushing the idea of chain abstraction, making sure that users don't need to think about the infrastructure underneath, and expanding that to not just Near, but also other blockchains. So we can talk about that.
Mm-hmm. At what point did the idea of Near come about?
That was around like June, July in 2018, where we were like, okay, what blockchain would we use? And there was nothing that kind of satisfied this, like scalable, is able to provide kind of a really straightforward interface, easy to build on. And we saw kind of an opportunity there, and being kind of our background, both me and my co-founder, in building systems and kind of systems engineering, like it was a pretty reasonable thing that like, okay, well, we can actually solve this problem, build something that is really addressing this needs. And we started in August 2018 and ran ever since.
You learned so much throughout the years. Like, what were some like the key things that were some like point in time that made you like switch gears and turn things around?
I would say there's like major points, but there's been a kind of obviously transition with any crypto project. There's kind of phases. You have, your learning phase where you're like figuring out what exactly you're doing. I would say initially we were very confident in ourselves. And so we thought we're actually going to launch within like 6-8 months. And at the same time, we were open to learning. So we did a whole series of conversations with everyone in crypto, people who building other blockchains, kind of researchers, and we ended up starting recording it. So we have a whiteboard series on YouTube, which now has like almost 50 episodes, covering actually like technical discussion on how different protocols. And so through that, we came to realization, and so we redid our white paper and the design in April 2019, and that was pretty, big shift for sure. And from there, I think the lesson, we should have launched something there. We had a non-sharded blockchain that we built that kind of we could have launched and started getting like developer attention while building out the sharding design. But it was kind of not clear to us that, like you promised to launch a sharded blockchain, and then, people were like, well, why don't you launch this? And so I think generally lesson from that has been like, okay, just launch what you have and then kind of iterate, and you can, and the way we design everything, you can replace the design under the hood pretty easily and kind of continue evolving it. And so, then the next transition was obviously mainnet. So we launched in October 2020. Obviously, it was a pretty major shift from like, hey, you have no product and, you're just developing something, quote unquote, in a lab. And now you have something fully live, globally available, there's a ton of people, trying to build things, using it, integrating. And so kind of this like 0 to 1 pretty much transition that happens like in one moment. So need to, restructure the team, focus on new things. Like that's a very different, I would say, kind of organization that you need to kind of handle that and grow beyond that. And so that was interesting. A lot of learnings there. Definitely, I don't think anybody's prepared for mainnet. That's why I do it earlier and then kind of live with mainnet versus like, wait until you have a perfect product. And I think, through the years, I think one of the other major transitions we've had was this realization that although Near is designed to be scalable, really easy to use, it scales through sharding, which means we can continue increasing capacity of the network, even, with targeting billions of users. There is an opportunity for people to run their own kind of roll-ups, their own dedicated kind of blockchains. And because of zero-knowledge proofs, we're getting close to where this is actually a pretty similar experience as if you were running on a singular chain. And that kind of understanding, I would say, came around late 2022. And so we started kind of rethinking a little bit how kind of the final vision will look like. And the goal always wasn't like blockchain is really just a tool. And the goal always was how to build fully sovereign kind of ecosystem. And we got to a little bit more clear point that we actually want to build a fully sovereign operating system. Something that any individual user can come in and not need to think about blockchains, decentralized storages, all of those pieces, but able to use directly from their phone, have all of the experiences accessible to them, interact with any economy, interact with any other brand or community. And now as AI also, this experience can be generated, they can be, personalized, can be, interfacing different agents and bots. And that is kind of a global vision that we have. Blockchain plays a major role there, but as I said, there will be lots of other kind of roll-ups and other chains. And so we started working on the chain abstraction thesis, which is we really want not just abstract the Near, but also abstract every other chain and allow any developer and a user really easily navigate the whole Web3 space. And so throughout last year, we kind of been building out technologies, and this year we're starting to launch this. So we launched DAppDapp, which is one single application, 150 different smart contracts across 15 different chains in one app. You don't need to switch, you don't need to open new tabs, you don't need to look for a bridge, you don't need to switch network, all of that in one place. So that's an experience we tried to get to, where all of this is aggregated in one place. The second part is we're launching end of March is with one account, you'll be able to transact on every chain. So you'll be able to log in and use any smart contract, any chain without knowing which chain it's on and thinking about gas fees, bridges, or any of the pieces like that. So those two pieces together and a lot of other infrastructure, that's kind of formed this chain abstraction thesis that as a user, you now will have, maybe your app, maybe your operating system. We have Telegram bot as well that allows you to really navigate the whole Web3. And that's what we're trying to kind of bring now to market and really get as many users and as many new applications enabled.
Are you implementing any of the AI stuff like that?
Yeah, so in parallel, again, the future is kind of where these two pieces come together, and this kind of operating system really removes the, I would say, the boundaries that we right now see between different kind of fields. But right now, we have quite a few experiments happening in the ecosystem, as well as I'm involved in a few projects, advisor, investor. And the idea is to, I would say there's kind of three main directions. First direction is how do we get models that are kind of on your device that can access to your local data and are able to be your agent, be your kind of facilitator, be your language model. So this is, again, towards this operating system vision. Second one is how do we get models that can do things on chain? So this is useful for everything from, trading, but I'm really interested in governance. How do we have not a person in the middle of a DAO, but actually a AI model that is able to facilitate the DAO. And finally, there's a third piece, which is kind of content reputation, data stack. Like there's a pretty major transformation that's going to happen in the next few years, where right now we're relying a lot on kind of, somebody posted something, or, even like Zoom calls. None of this has cryptography. None of it has authentication. And so it's really easy to manipulate it, create fake video stream, joining the Zoom. So all of these pieces really need to get upgraded. And it's true also on the data side that whatever these models have, right, it's all based in data. So how do we facilitate clean data that is, rewarded the people who created this data in a proper way, and all of this brought to the models? How do we facilitate that flow? So this is like kind of data, reputation, curation side. So we have projects that are kind of in all of these three spaces, working and pushing the kind of envelope here, and kind of with the vision of putting it all into one ecosystem that facilitates kind of user-first facilitation.
With ETH Denver, there's always like new talent joining Web3, and a big chunk of it are developers. Nowadays, there's so many options to how to like start building in this space. What would you say from your experience and from your knowledge? Or like really, what's the best place to start for someone that is entering the space? Nowadays, there's so many tools, so much going on. What should they focus on?
I mean, I think the best place to start is what's closest to the person, right, to their previous experience. Because, obviously you can go like, and the hackathon is a great place to like, if you don't have any idea, you could join the team. But ideally you're expanding already your existing, experience, and you're building on top of it, bringing the Web3 tooling to it, right? So, people coming from financial, right, there's a ton of obviously financial engineering that you can do, leveraging this kind of instrument and create new economic models, create new financial tooling, create new DeFi platform. Coming from medical or, other space, like how do we keep track of data? How do we, make it private? How do we make it accessible to everyone? Like, so there's like a new way to approach the existing problems and the space that people have background in. Now, at the same time, obviously you can just jump in and like, okay, well, I want to learn how to do, NFT games, etc. That's always an option. But I feel, again, like it depends if whatever's closest to people, they should start there and then kind of keep expanding from there. And then, just ask a lot of questions. There's a lot of obvious education materials now. And then, figure out what is the best tools for the problem you're trying to solve, and how to access as many users or companies that would use.
We've been feeling the excitement about crypto like picking up again. What are some of the I'm gonna call it trends that you think are gonna manifest here?
Well, I definitely think chain abstraction will be one, and we're working really hard to get that going. Obviously, the modularity has been already, full steam ahead, and, chain abstraction is kind of coming in as almost like you need, if you have 10,000 rollups, you need a way to like package all of that up to the user. We definitely see AI being a major trend. I've been at like 6 events, I think, talking about AI. I think the payments and kind of remittances tokenization is definitely a major part as well. We have now enough infrastructure, we have enough money in the system as well to start actually facilitating that. We see a lot of kind of individual users also interested in leveraging it. We see institutions moving in. There's like kind of some of the need that comes from the fact that like US can ban the Swift transfers also comes in, and like the countries who are like BRICS countries are really interested in like alternative systems. So I think there's like a ton of demand kind of in this payment settlement world, like coming from a real world need. And at the same time, obviously, like individual users in developing countries want to have, more stable currency than what they have locally. So stable coins being a big part of that. So I think that is, we talk about this every year, I think, as a thing, but we definitely see that, continue growing, right? It's actually, stable coins be them at like 120, 130 billion. Like that's a pretty massive growth given like in 2019, it was less than 1 billion, right? So I'm sure that will actually explode even more this year. And I think that we'll see a lot of kind of novel like creator economy that is moving into crypto, right? Part of it will be because of AI. Part of it is just like the existing markets are not working very well. Part of it will be because of decentralized social that actually brings new way of interacting. And so I think that all of those effects together will kind of give a new spark to the kind of creator economy. Like kind of we saw that with NFTs before, but I think it will be NFT powered, but maybe like in a different flavor.
We've been talking about mainstream adoption for years. When is it coming? Is it in the room with us right now? Like, do you think that aspect of like the social will open that door? And from your perspective, do you think that would be potentially this year?
So, just to mention, like on Near, for example, we have applications which have millions of users. And their mainstream application, like Kaiching, for example, is on the phone, pre-installed on Oppo phones and Xiaomi. It's on your home screen, on your lock screen. Like it has, crypto wallet, but it's not in your face. And, you're earning points and you're earning kind of, and you can spend them in e-commerce and in real stores as well. All of that is powered by Near. They replaced Stripe actually with Near, which saves them 100x on fees. And so the idea is like we have actually mass adoption apps. They don't sound like the mass adoption will not come from a Uniswap, right? And so we have kind of few of those, and I think the social is definitely interesting because it's something that people can connect and like spend a lot of time on. I expect again more around the creator economy, where it's going to be interesting. Obviously, it's way easier to like facilitate some economy and the transactions if you already have a wallet and you're logged in with it, versus like getting a user to actually like add a card and like spend money inside, for example, Facebook. And so for example, Instagram, people advertise all the time, but then you need to take them out to go to somewhere else, right? Now you can embed, your shop directly in a post that you post on Central Social, and people can just buy with one click. So you can have like a lot more integrated experiences. I think that kind of with combination of some new kind of content type or entertainment or something, that's what can boost this to the next level. But I think again, it will not be like the degen kind of experience. It will be something like more general user, and people will dismiss it. In crypto, will dismiss it for a while because it will not look like something that they day to day interact with.
Do you think the core, like the wireframe of Web3 is already in place?
I think so, yeah. I think we have most of the pieces. Obviously, like when things starting to scale, like we had this Telegram bot launch that grew from 0 to 2 million users in 3 weeks, right? And obviously, like, they had growth pains because like that's a massive growth really quickly. But, all the infrastructure was there. They abstract all the transactions, they enable all of the users to kind of join and start interacting. They're launching more applications. They built all of that in like 2 weeks, right? So, and kind of they continue growing and shipping. And so I think like a lot of infra is there. And we'll see kind of, the small gaps there will be like filled in by apps demand now versus, you cannot build something because the infrastructure doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm. You've dedicated your life towards the cause, let's call it. What keeps you motivated to keep building towards like in this direction?
Well, I think like we kind of have a fork in the road, right? We either end up in like Black Mirror episode where, you have like few companies controlling almost like everybody's mind, and deciding what you can think, what you can do, what you can watch, and what you can participate in. Or you have kind of a self-sovereign world where people own their data and their assets and have power and decision making in the governance of the system. This fork is extremely important, and we have like an opportunity right now to really drive the direction. And I think like Web3 is a major part of that, and is the tooling and the ethos in many ways that enables it.
So for everyone watching, like how, if they're interested in supporting you, like building a Near, how could they take their first step? Obviously, like people coming from Etherverse, they're new to the space. How could they come and support you?
Yeah, I mean, there's few ways to participate, right? Obviously, you can just start by following on Twitter and starting to, we have Near Week, which get posts a lot of updates. If you're a developer, there's a ton of things to build. With chain abstraction, you kind of can have your smart contracts on different chains, and you can have like an experience that, enables any user from anywhere to join it. And so that kind of, I think it's pretty fundamentally changing how we think about chains, because of how like we choose not where the users are or where you think users will be, but more on what's the best tool, and then enabling anyone to come. And then if you're a content creator, you need many ways to engage and kind of educate people on what's going on, dive deep. We have actually a lot of analytics being posted by Flipside. So that, dive into that. And then, join kind of this and try out these products that are on Near and across Web3 in general, and give feedback, and maybe you'll have ideas what to build next.
And at a personal level, how can I keep up with what you're up to?
Well, my Twitter is IL Black Dragon, so I invite everyone to follow it.
Illia, thank you so much.
Thank you.